Peckle Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, they.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Talking Friars pregame show for September 4th, 2022. Padres and the Dodgers tonight, Sunday Night Baseball. That means it's on ESPN, 97.3 The Fan, like always on the radio, though. Interesting matchup today. Cleb is on the mound for the Padres. The Dodgers seem to be going with a bullpen game. Caleb Ferguson, I guess, is their starter. Andrew Heaney was supposed to start today's game, but that was announced a couple days ago that he would not be. I don't remember why, but he's just not starting today. Padres obviously coming off of that bad loss last night. Shamanaya, hopefully he's made his last start as a Padre for at least the next couple weeks. I'll discuss that more on the series reaction episode after the game here on YouTube. When Manaya might start next, what that probably should look like. There hasn't been any confirmation from the coaching staff or from the Padres organization or anything like that Manaya is not going to start his next time around, which would be against the Dodgers next weekend at Petco. But if you just look at him pitch, you look at the numbers, you see his quotes after the game, it's kind of like, okay, everyone pretty much agrees that he should not be starting next, especially if it's going to be against the Dodgers, which he's not done well against this year. Dodgers looking for their 92nd win this year. Hopefully the Padres can prevent that, and the Padres can get their 75th win this year. 4:08 is the first pitch. I'll have the clips at Talking Friars on Twitter like I always do. I'm also on Instagram as well, TikTok, but I don't use that too much. So getting to the pitching matchup tonight, Clevenger, he's obviously the actual starter in this pitching matchup. Last time out, 5 innings, 2 runs that he allowed, walked 1. That was against the Giants. Padres won that game 6-5. Remember, that was the game where they had 2 delays, not 1, but 2. Had the umpire who did the splits or something, and he got hurt trying to run to get a better view of the Austin Nola dropped pop-up in foul territory in San Francisco. And then there was the light delay because I guess the timer was off. The timer didn't turn the lights on at Oracle Park when it was supposed to. So there was like a 50-minute total delay between those 2 delays. But they still got 5 innings out of Clevenger there. Hopefully there's not going to be delays here. And Clev will be able to go, 6 innings at least. The bullpen, I'm not saying like the bullpen's in bad shape or anything. You just want your starter to go long. And Clevenger, I have confidence in him. I definitely have more confidence in him than Manaya, obviously. He's probably 4th on the list in terms of starters right now, who I have most confidence in right now. It's probably Darvish, Musgrove, Snell. You could argue Snell over Musgrove, but that's probably how I would do it. And then Clevenger 4th. That's not a bad thing. I mean, I have confidence in all 4 of the guys right now. I don't really include Manaya as a starter right now. I don't think he should be starting this next time around. And even if I did include him, that Manaya's 5th if I'm going to put 5 starters, in terms of if I'm going to compare them, with confidence level in them. Against Cleveland, he went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs. The only 2 runs he allowed there were those 2 solo home runs. So he's been pitching well. And obviously, right, the big question is, can the Padres get this series win? Sunday Night Baseball, last Sunday Night Baseball game was against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. And what happened? They got swept. They're not going to get swept even if they lose today because they won on Friday night. They smashed the Dodgers on Friday night. But it would be nice to get a series win, right? This is a game. Dodgers have a bullpen game. For me, it's like it would be really, really nice to get this series win. And I think the Padres have the advantage going into this game because they have Clev on the mound, and the Dodgers are just trying to piece together their pitching in this game, right? I said entering this series that I would be fine with a 1 win uh, um, excuse me, that doesn't sound right. A series loss, I'd be fine with getting one win in Los Angeles. You guarantee a 6-3 road trip because they swept the Giants, lost once in Kansas City. And so if they were to lose twice here, so yeah, 6-3, it's still a good road trip. Diamondbacks have been playing pretty well. I know they lost last night to Milwaukee, but they've been playing pretty well. So maybe that's going to be a a tough stretch coming up, a tough series for the Padres when they come back home. By the way, it feels like it's been forever since the Padres have played back at home. Um, so I hope they can win tonight, obviously. I think they have the advantage. If they don't win, I don't think it's the end of the world. I just hope they don't get smacked, on national television. Um, for the bullpen situation, kind of the same thing as last night because last night, or going into last night, because last night was a blowout. Hader, Garcia, Martinez, they haven't pitched in at least 3 days, at least 3 games in a row. Suarez has not pitched in a while, so they've got all their guys ready today. And obviously, we're just going to be watching for if there is a save situation. Do they go to Martinez or do they decide to go with Josh Hader? Um, Caleb Ferguson, he's a bullpen guy. Last outing was September 1st when the Dodgers were in New York. He went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs there. He's not gone more than an inning since July 30th. He won an inning and a third. He hasn't gone 2 innings all year. Um, yeah, he's in there to face the top of the Padres lineup and then get out of there, I would think. And then I don't make a Dodger bullpen chart, but I guess I could look. Let me look who pitched last night, and then they probably wouldn't pitch today. Hang on, I'm looking that up real quick. Or maybe not real quick. If this Wi-Fi wants to cooperate with me, that would be great. Okay, so last night for the Dodgers, Trinan pitched. They just brought him back. He could be available today. 5 pitches. Kimbrel threw 11, and they had a position player to throw, Hanser Alberto. So they've got pretty much their whole bullpen, I would think, ready to go for tonight. So both bullpens seem like they're in good spots going into tonight. And the Dodgers are going to need it. And I, I probably should have expected the Dodgers bullpen to be in pretty good shape when I was looking at that there, because why would they go with the bullpen day if, the bullpen wasn't in good shape, right? Lineup. So Padres, a question, with Brandon Drury getting hit in the helmet on Friday, was he going to play today? He wasn't going to play yesterday. Bob Melvin, I believe he told the media yesterday that he was optimistic Brandon Drury could play today. He's not in the lineup. Doesn't mean he won't play. He could pinch hit or whatever, but he's not in the starting lineup. Josh Bell's DHing. Myers is at first. Fourth position he's played in this series, by the way. Profar is back in left. So Kim is hitting leadoff. He's at short. That was another question going into today. Is Kim, was he going to play, right? Because he aggravated the right knee soreness, right knee. He's had right knee soreness. That's how I should probably be saying it. Bob Melvin said after the game that he thought Kim was going to play today, and he's going to. He could have continued in that game last night, but due to the score, there was no reason to force it. But he's back in there, batting leadoff. Juan Soto's in right field, batting second. He's my Padre pick, by the way. I know that might sound stupid to have Soto be my Padre pick when he hasn't gotten a hit in 5 games, but I don't think it's going to go 6. I'm going to go with Manny, or excuse me, Manny is batting third. He was my Padre pick yesterday. That's who I went with. He did get a hit. He homered, so I'm 83 and 46 so far this season in my Padre pick. Josh Bell's DHing. Profar's in left, Crony's at second, Myers at first, and then Grisham's back in there starting. He didn't start yesterday. He's in center, batting eighth, and then Nola is back catching, batting ninth. And then with the Dodgers, Betts in right, Trey Turner at short, Freddie Freeman at first, Will Smith is catching, Max Muncy's at third base, Justin Turner is DHing, Joey Gallo's in left, Chris Taylor's at second, and Bellinger's in center. So Betts played second last night, but that was because I believe Chris Taylor was not in the lineup, and Will Smith was not catching, I don't believe, last night. I think it was Austin Barnes. So he's back catching. I think he was DH. Yeah, he DH'd last night because he did have that double down the left field line. Obviously, the big thing that you're looking for from Clev here when you look at the Dodgers lineup is to minimize the impact of the top of their lineup, right? Like, I think the top of their lineup last night got like 8 hits, and they got none, I believe, on Friday night when you was on the mound. So limiting that and then try to attack Muncy, who doesn't hit the fastball great this year. Justin Turner, Joey Gallo, right? It's easier said than done. But obviously being careful with, the Betts, Turner, Freeman, Smith combination there at 1 through 4. And then try to really go after bottom half of that order. I think that's where Clev can find the success. And obviously limiting the walks, right? Don't beat yourself. When you're playing a great team like the Dodgers, don't beat yourself. They did that the last time they played in LA. They haven't really done that this time, other than like Manaea just throwing meatballs. But that's not like the Padres defense. I'm talking about like Padres defenders and errors and stuff like that. Marco in the chat here, I appreciate this. Couple comments here. Even if we lose today, I would be satisfied of how we played this week. We swept the Giants, took at least one against the Dodgers. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. As long as they don't get blown out, I think that'll be. I'm going to be satisfied. I still said I was going to be satisfied even with one win in this series. So I guess if they get blown out, hey, well, Ben, they won one game. I don't think I'll be, really happy, but it's still a 6-3 road trip. So I'd still definitely take it. It's much better than getting swept, right? Even if we lose today, I wouldn't be mad. Oh, wait. I think you already said this. Because we really played good baseball this week. Yeah. If we lose, our record this week would be 4 wins out of 6 games, which is good, not awesome, but enough to stay in contention. Well, they're not just in contention, they're in the second wild card spot right now. So, yeah. They lost last night and the Brewers won. So they're back to technically 4 games up on them for a playoff spot, 3 games in the standings, but 4 games because they have the head-to-head advantage. They're a half game up on Philadelphia for the second wild card spot entering today. And since the Padres are the last team to play, both teams are underway. The Giants are winning 3-0 over the Phillies, so that's good. And the Diamondbacks are beating the Brewers in the 5th, 2-0, so that's good. But again, we still have, a month left in the season, so the tough schedule and Brewers having an easier schedule, right? Obviously, there's still worry among the Padres fan base, right? And yeah, I see this comment here from O side about handling the schedule. I think they can handle it. I think not pitching Manaea against the Dodgers can help them handle it, right? What if Manaea didn't pitch yesterday and they went with someone else? I'm not saying they would have won the game. They scored 1 run. Julio Urias pitched great, but it would have been closer, right? They wouldn't have been out of the game, by what, the 5th inning or whatever it was. I don't think the starter would have given up 3 bombs. So I think they'd hang in there more against the Dodgers if Manaea wasn't pitching. If they had, if they just skipped this start like they can for the next couple weeks, which again, I'll discuss more in the series reaction after the game. So again, Clevenger's on the mound today. Again, it's Caleb Ferguson who's starting for the Dodgers. It was supposed to be Andrew Heaney. Now it's going to be a bullpen day. 4:08's the first pitch. I think it's Carl Ravage, David Cohn, and Eduardo Perez on the call for Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. If you don't want to listen to them, then you can just turn on 97.3 The Fan. You can probably pause the TV for a few seconds and then try to time it out where 97.3 The Fan is calling it just like it is on the TV and just mute Sunday Night Baseball. But I'll have the clips at Talking Friars on Twitter as I usually do. And I'd watch for to see, obviously, the closer situation. Brandon Drury, does he get into the game at some point today? Pinch hit at bat, maybe. Maybe the Padres just don't want to put him in for a full game yet, coming off of getting hit a couple of days ago in the head. So, yeah, those are some things to watch for. So both teams we want to lose are losing right now, Philly and Milwaukee. So if that score holds and the Padres lose today, that's not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, you want to win, but again, I said before the series, I'd take 1 out of 3. You got to make progress. They got swept last time. Take 1 this time, and hopefully you can go try to win this series next weekend if they do lose today. If they win today, well, then you try to keep winning every series you play, right? If you can win against the Dodgers, win a Dodgers series on the road, I think they can feel confident that they can win every series the rest of the way. JD's third says, if we drop the next few series to the Dodgers, we could be out of the hunt altogether. I disagree. They have a 4-game lead technically on Milwaukee right now. Milwaukee's not playing the best. They'd have to like sweep teams. Like if we lose, what would it be? It wouldn't be the next few series. It would be the next 2 because they played 2 more series against the Dodgers after this game, tonight. So what? They go 2-4 in those games. Okay, Milwaukee goes 4-2 in those in that 6-game stretch there. So they gain what? They gain 2 games on us there. Padres would still be in the hunt. So I disagree with that. Marcos says, how about easing Nick Martinez to the starting pitching role? Yeah, but I think that's a little too late for that. I think Nick Martinez, he's one of the best relievers in the Padres bullpen right now. And we don't even know if Josh Hader's the closer. Like, he could just go pitch the 8th inning tonight or something. I'd still want Martinez to be the closer at the moment. And he's not stretched out. He's been pitching in 1, sometimes 2-inning spurts. He has to get stretched out. And I don't think you want to try to fill one hole and then you get worse in a bullpen hole where he's been very, very effective, you know? I think with the off days, you just skip the 5th starter spot. And then you hope Manaea can find it. And then, a couple weeks down the road when you do have to pitch Manaea again, based on off days and stuff, you hope that he can find it. If he can't find it, you have a shorter leash than you did last night, and you have a bullpen game or you bring someone else in. Yeah, JD's third. I understand. I knew people were going to say this. Losing mentality, accepting a series loss. We expect so little from this team. Well, I'm not expecting so little from it. The Dodgers are a better team than the Padres are. You do also have to not lie to yourself, The Dodgers are a better team than the Padres. The Padres have to prove they are a better team over a longer period of time than, like just this weekend. They have to prove it that they're better than the Dodgers by beating them in the postseason or winning a season series. So I'm accepting a series loss because it's still progress. You got swept last time. You take 1 game this series if they lose today. That's still you're making progress. You had a 6-3 road trip. Like, I'm gonna take that. They played well. They just swept the Giants. Like, they they've done their job, you know, this way, um, this time through on the road. It would be one thing if they, like, lost the Giants series or they lost the Royals series. Okay, then yeah, you need to win this Dodgers series to have a good road trip. But the Dodgers are a better team. They're gonna be 6-3 even if they lose today on the road trip, and they get to come back home and face a team that's not as good as the Padres are. Big Island Bum asks, "Is it just me, or do you also notice something amiss with Bell's swing?" No, not really. I kinda did. Like, I thought he was closing himself off during that, like, 1 for 30 stretch, but no, I'm fine with the way he is right now. Bell seems to be hacking at the ball like he's using an axe, Oside Patriot 760 says. I mean, that's also kind of his swing sometimes. He said he found something, I think, a week ago, maybe a little more than a week ago when he was working, I think it was in the cage. So I don't think he's straying from that. I mean, the offense as a whole didn't do great last night, you know? But I think they got like 2 hits. Yeah, they got 2 hits last night. Bell went 0 for 3, but he did get on base with a walk. 0 for 5 on Friday. There were a lot of 0 for still though on Friday from the rest of the offense too. I'm not gonna complain about Josh Bell right now. Okay, JD's third talking about Hanser Alberto striking out Josh Bell. Dude, the guy's throwing 50 miles an hour. Like major league players, they're not used to that. They'd probably rather face 100 than 50 miles an hour because they're just not used to 50. Like it's a lose-lose situation. If they get a hit, well, it's off a pitcher. If they don't get a hit, you didn't get a hit off of a position player? Excuse me, I meant to say before that, I said pitcher. If they get a hit, well, it's off a position player. If they don't get a hit, well, it's like, okay, you can't get a hit off of a position player? Come on. It's a lose-lose situation. All right, Padres Dodgers tonight, Sunday Night Baseball. I think that's going to do it. I'll be back with the post-game series reaction after the game here on YouTube. Enjoy the game at Talking Friars on Twitter for the game clips, and I'll talk to you later. Go Pods.